and welcome to this edition of OCTV. Spring is in full bloom right now at the Mansion House, and with summer right around the corner, we thought this episode of OCTV can focus on the gardens and grounds here at the Mansion House. But before I get to the structure behind me, I wanted to talk a little bit about the overall philosophy that Pet Perfectionists had for their gardening. They were actually very interested in gardening and perfecting the landscape just as they wanted to perfect their inner life as well as their architecture. Indeed, just like the Mansion House itself, they believed that the inner life, their personal lives, should be reflected in their outer lives, not only their outer being, but their home domain, their architecture, and their landscape. They turned to the work of a landscape architect by the name of A.J. Downing, who was very popular in the middle of the 19th century. And he believed in naturalistic landscapes. Things that looked like they had always been there, but they were actually meticulously planned and meticulously kept after. For the perfectionists, this meant laying out different paths throughout the garden so that they could enjoy them from different vantage points. Also laying out beds of flowers, and most importantly, from what you see around us, awesome tree collections. Again, it was this sort of idea of perfecting the landscape, but making it look natural all at the same time. Again, the perfectionists did believe that this was the new Garden of Eden, so they wanted the landscape to reflect that. One of the big proponents of ornamental horticulture, what Downing called his landscape design, was a man named Alfred Barron. And he was the one who deeply studied Downing and really decided to put this horticultural scheme on the landscape. Alfred Barron was a community member that the Circular described as, quote, a slim young man of medium height with thin face, agreeable features, keen gray eyes, and a pleasant manner. He was the poet naturalist of the community. And indeed, he was a poet with landscape, as you can see throughout the north lawn of the Mansion House. So this structure here is called the Summer House, and this was built by a man named Henry Thayer in 1864 with the help of another workman. It's gone through many iterations throughout its time. It used to have a thatched roof. It also had a cupola on there that acted as a dovecote. But most importantly, what this structure is actually a folly. And a folly, no, is not a mistake, but actually it's a piece of garden architecture, a little bit of whimsy. And the cool part about the Summer House is that it's amazing views from inside as well as gazing out to it. Because people would come out here, perfectionists would come out here and enjoy the landscape and sit in the Summer House, and from there they could gaze out upon their amazing domain that was laid out by Barron and other community members. But also, if people were coming down some of these amazing paths or coming out for the Mansion House, this piece of architecture, the Summer House, actually had a very beautiful view from the Mansion House itself. So you could see it, sort of this picturesque landscape that the perfectionists were trying to achieve here. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of OCTV, but more importantly, we hope you come out to the Mansion House as soon as you can to come out and experience this lovely landscape that's been here for 160 years. Take care.